Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 10 worst states to live in the United States 2024. In the ever-evolving landscape of American living, certain states fall short of being havens for residents. Whether it's due to inadequate healthcare, high crime rates, or limited inclusivity, these regions garner reputations as less than ideal places to call home. As CNBC delves into its yearly assessment of state business climates, it unveils a list that scrutinizes how welcoming states are to their residents, especially in the face of a nationwide worker shortage. We consider multiple quality of life factors, including crime rates, environmental quality, and healthcare. We also look at the quality and availability of childcare, which is one of the most important factors in getting parents back into the workforce. This examination encompasses multiple facets of life, health, and inclusion, shedding light on the 10 worst states to live in for 2024. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 10 worst states to live in the United States 2024. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 10 worst states to live in the United States in 2024. Number 10. Florida. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 129 out of 350 points, top states grade, D. Strengths, air quality, childcare, worker protections. Weaknesses, inclusiveness, reproductive rights. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis hopes to ride his war on woke to the White House, but it is not winning his state points for quality of life. Supporters of the state's Stop Woke Act, which DeSantis signed into law in 2022, say it protects employees from diversity, equity and inclusion (DEI) initiatives that DeSantis says are toxic. But many companies consider DEI an economic imperative, and courts have struck down parts of the law. The recent Supreme Court decision on affirmative action in higher education, however, is expected to lead to new legal challenges related to DEI programs in the corporate world. Florida is also one of the most difficult states to vote in, according to researchers at Northern Illinois University. DeSantis argues that none of this is stopping huge numbers of people from moving to Florida, and he has a point. The state leads the nation in just about every measure of migration. But rated strictly on life, health, and inclusion, the Sunshine State can be a dreary place. Number 9. Arkansas. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 118 out of 350 points, top states grade, D-. Strengths, childcare, air quality. Weaknesses, crime, inclusiveness, reproductive rights, healthcare. Few states have suffered as badly from the scourge of illegal drugs as Arkansas, which has one of the highest violent crime rates in the country, according to FBI statistics. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders blamed the crime problem on lax penalties, as well as prison overcrowding that is forcing the state's prison system to release some violent offenders before they complete their entire sentences. In April, she signed legislation to stiffen penalties, curtail early releases, and fund new prison space. But crime is just one of the natural state's problems. Another is healthcare, with, for example, just 42 dentists for every 100,000 residents, according to the United Health Foundation. Number 8. Tennessee. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 115 out of 350 points, top states grade, D-. Strengths, childcare, air quality. Weaknesses, inclusiveness, crime, voting rights. Tennessee has enthusiastically passed laws targeting LGBTQ+ rights, even if it has meant crossing the bounds of constitutionality, like a ban on drag shows where children are present, which a federal judge struck down in June. Or another law struck down by a federal judge in 2021 that would have required businesses to post a warning sign on restrooms where transgender people are allowed. But plenty of other laws have survived, like a transgender youth sports ban, and laws that provide religious exemptions allowing healthcare and child welfare professionals to deny service to transgender people. Number 7. Indiana. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 113 out of 350 points, top states grade, D-. Strength, crime rate. Weaknesses, childcare, inclusiveness. With fewer than 10 licensed childcare facilities per 100,000 residents, the Hoosier State is making it hard for some families to fully participate in the workforce. It is the second worst figure in the nation, behind Louisiana, according to the advocacy group Childcare Aware. Protections against discrimination under state law are limited as well. Number 6. Missouri. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 98 out of 350 points, top states grade, F. Strength, air quality. Weaknesses, voting rights, reproductive rights, crime. The Show Me state is showing abortion opponents the way. In 2019, the state became the first to enact a so-called trigger law, which went into effect moments after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022. The law, one of the strictest in the nation, bans all abortions except in the case of a medical emergency, which the abortion provider must prove. Also, Missouri's violent crime rate is among the nation's highest. Number 5. Alabama. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 86 out of 350 points, top states grade, F. Strength, air quality. Weaknesses, voting rights, worker protections, inclusiveness, health. Alabama is one of America's unhealthiest states, with the fourth highest rate of premature deaths. It is also one of the most difficult states to vote in, with no in-person early voting and restrictions on voting by mail, according to the Center for Election Innovation and Research. Worker protections are limited, as are protections against discrimination. Number 4. South Carolina. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 86 out of 350 points, top states grade, F. Strength, air quality. Weaknesses, health, worker protections, inclusiveness, crime, voting rights. South Carolina is an unhealthy state, both at home and on the job. The state has the nation's fifth highest rate of occupational deaths, and it finishes in the top 10 for frequent physical and mental distress overall. Legal protections for workers are limited, and the state's violent crime rate also finishes in the top 10. Number 3. Louisiana. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 76 out of 350 points, top states grade, F. Strengths, no metrics in the top 25. Weaknesses, childcare, crime, reproductive rights. With just 76 licensed childcare facilities in a state of 4.6 million people, no state does worse than Louisiana in this increasingly important quality of life metric. State lawmakers have begun trying to remedy that, approving $44 million in new funding in the final hours of the 2023 legislative session, quickly signed into law by Governor John Bel Edwards. Louisiana won't solve its childcare problem overnight, but the new funding is a down payment on an improvement in the Pelican State's poor quality of life. Number 2. Oklahoma. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 75 out of 350 points, top states grade, F. Strength, air quality. Weaknesses, reproductive rights, health, voting rights. Overall health in Oklahoma is not okay, with one of the nation's highest rates of drug abuse, and the second highest rate of people without health insurance. The Sooner State's 1910 abortion ban remains among the strictest in the nation, even after its state Supreme Court struck down some parts of it, like the provision that required a medical emergency to justify an abortion. The law makes performing an abortion a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison unless the procedure is necessary to preserve the mother's life. Number 1. Texas. Life, Health and Inclusion score, 53 out of 350 points, top states grade, F. Strengths, no metrics in the top 25. Weaknesses, reproductive rights, health, voting rights, worker protections, inclusiveness. How could 200,000 college-educated workers moving to Texas each year possibly be wrong? It depends on how you look at it. With the nation's highest percentage of people without health insurance and the second lowest number of primary care physicians per capita, all those new Texans are arriving to find a dismal healthcare system. Texas has the nation's 13th highest violent crime rate, and it ranks 37th for licensed childcare facilities per capita. The Lone Star State keeps hacking away at inclusiveness, with laws targeting the LGBTQ+ population, voting rights, and the nation's strictest abortion ban. Yes, there are enormous economic opportunities in Texas, and it is attracting people from far and wide. But this state also has some Texas-sized issues when it comes to life, health, and inclusion. And it is one of the reasons that the state fell out of the overall top 5 for the first time in the 16-year history of CNBC's rankings. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your thoughts on the top 10 worst states to live in the United States in 2024 in the comments below. I'd love to read them and I'm sure others would too.